Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday morning trading room. Shoot, it's only Tuesday and I'm already forgetting what day of the week it is. It's still early. All right. Well, what a roller coaster we're looking at here lately. Here, the daily chart for the NASDAQ. Nice to have a reference. Look at this craziness from yesterday. Huge move down with the overnight gap. The market recovers about halfway into that gap. Remember, the market closing up here the night before and then opening here. So a really, really thin doji style bar. Look at the volume. Volume really increasing dramatically. This morning, we have the opposite effect. The market closing up here, opening down here. So now we have an upside gap. Well, I guess we had an upside gap yesterday. But just a really, really odd kind of day. And what I see when I look at this kind of formation is I see an expanding triangle. Now, expanding triangles can either lead to breakouts or trading ranges. It's not clear yet which one it is. They do tend to develop near the end of a trend, however. So we will see what comes of that. A little bit of a quiet start. Well, kind of sort of. We had a little bit of an uptick here, it looks like. We're getting a trend change signal now on the Eagle. The big deal is this overnight trend. Look at that. The overnight, very active. Hasn't been this active for a while. And then the question always, will the market recover the overnight trend? A lot of times, I would probably say 7 out of 10 times, the market will try to reverse on the overnight trend, at least initially. But we do have a slightly conflicted market. Oh, I don't show this very often, except in hindsight, but this one's taking its time, so I will get it ready. Your first in-sync eagle signal can oftentimes have very good results. So all we're doing is we're looking for our first signal, which is in sync. In this case, the trading band is bullish. So we're going to be looking for our first buy signal, which actually originated right here. The nice thing about this signal is very often it has a decent amount of follow through to it. I'm trying to capture some of that early market momentum. And if you go back in your charts, you'll see that this signal probably works pretty darn close to like 70% of the time. 70 to 80% of the time. All right, at this point, I'm going to start rolling stops up. So far, so good. If we can get it a little bit cozier, I will just start jamming my stops in to protect a little extra. No, don't look back. Come on. See, if I had taken the signal on the hash mark, I would be at my profit target already. It's amazing how often the market will try to hesitate or potentially even reverse once it reaches its high probability profit objective. Oh, look at that. I just got tagged a little bit too quick. They would have got up there. Gave me a couple of extra dollars, but that's all right. I took my share. In fact, if I were so inclined, if I were looking for my $100 daily target, I've just made it, haven't I? Well, close. Might have to find one more trade. But look at this, almost to the number from where the signal prints to where the market turns. So the signal printed around 77.35. Our target would have been 77.45. That would be the high probability target for the eagle. And the market starting to turn shortly thereafter. Okay, well, that makes me feel a little bit better about jamming my stops in. But you can do that first in sync signal. You can do it. I know one of the traders in the room years ago always liked to do it with the Falcon. He would take, he's one of the fellows who kind of steered me toward this direction. Russell always followed it on the Eagle, and Jim used to follow it here on the Falcon. And again, all you're looking for is your first in-sync signal. No, sorry, it wasn't Jim, it was Derek. But at any rate, so the market would open, he would print or take the first signal that printed, and he was just looking, I think, for like 5 ticks. He just wanted to get a winner under his belt. And of course, you can do it with the Raptor as well. So we've got a bullish band. We would simply be looking for a buy signal because the band is bullish. Oh, here we're coming back with a number 3 signal. We could have another opportunity. This would kind of be a really prolonged second push, and we would make the market take out this high. Spotted it a little bit too late. This is another situation where you can see if I had taken the signal on the hash mark, I would already be at my profit target. So sometimes you got to balance this idea. You know, you don't want to allow too much after your signal prints. Let's see if we can sneak a couple extra ticks out of this. Come on, get up there. I'm going to have my stop handy so I can adjust it. If I get another bull bar here, I'm going to start to roll my stop up a little bit more aggressively. See, the problem is the signal printed here, we've already hit our high probability target. Oops, and here comes the reverse. I'm going to have to start taking these signals a little bit faster, I think. Come on, buyers. Don't let up now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, well, here we are. We're in a position where hoping for an early swing somewhere near the hard edge that will give me my stops 2 swings back. Not looking very promising here at the moment. Well, yeah. So I just waited far too long for this one. So the signal printing here, whenever the market breaches a support or resistance zone or a trend line or pretty much anything else you can draw on your chart, you should always anticipate a reaction. The advantage taking the signal early here is that you can actually get to your profit objective before you even encounter the resistance near the high. Right? Had I entered here, boom, up you go, you get your 5 points, you're in and out, and then the market breaks, and then you get the reaction and the big move lower. So I kind of put myself a little bit behind the 8 ball here. But the upshot is, if the market's not going to go up, there is a reasonable expectation that it should go down. I'm going to try not to get into a position here where I'm chasing the market, though. So let's put that away for now. Okay, we're into the hard edge on the eagle and the raptor. The hawk and falcon already bearish. This would be actually an early trend change signal here now. And I'm going to try to drag this one out a little bit. See if I can recover some of my earlier loss. So, we are in swing mode, moving into scalp mode, so I shouldn't get too cute with the marketplace. Let's see if I can squeak just a couple of extra ticks. Maybe even down here to the primary support zone. So we're taking a little bit of a bounce here off of the median line. There will be a tendency for the market to try to go to the primary support. If the trend remains down, then the next target would be the secondary support zone. Oh, they're not showing me any love here this morning. Oh, you're going to tap me out again? I'm going to say yes. Wow. All right, well, I think we're going to leave opening range alone here. See if the market doesn't settle into some sort of direction today. The back and forth, brutal. Very difficult to trade. And it is quarter to the hour, my least favorite time of the day to trade. I've almost hit my ouch point on the day, point where I would stop trading. Oh, you scoundrels, look at this now. They just made the swing high enough to tag me out, and now they're going down. Oh, ain't that the way? This is why it's important to keep your stops a reasonable distance away. Ideally, I always say 2 swings. The reason is that the market will very often violate the first swing point, retesting it, trying to break above it. But it's very unlikely to take out the second swing point. Now you're going to look at this trade and you're going to say, oh, well, wait a minute, Eric, I cannot afford to place my stops way up there. And that is true, or maybe true. So you would probably or should probably pass on this trade, because if you place your stops anywhere closer, they're going to tap you out. Which is precisely what they did to me. And yet, had I kept my stop 2 swings back, I would have been just fine. So it's looking like we are in a bit of a downtrend at this point. And when you have a market that you think is in a downtrend, this is always a bit of a tough decision for me. You know, the temptation is just short it. You're in a downtrend, just get in. Right? The market is starting to run away, just get a position. Let's see if that works today. So we have broken the primary support zone. Next target should be down here. Make sure you select the right order. And if you wanted, it's not unusual to see the market move 2 zones. So this would be zone 1, this would be zone 2. Really swinging for the fences. If the market is moving really, really fast, like sometimes you'll see those little moments where the market just explodes, those I try to avoid. The reason being, I think they happen in order to make everybody reach for their buy or sell market button. Oh, see, like that little quick uptick there. Are they trying to encourage people to buy into the market, or is that truly some buying pressure? Okay, now we're producing a number 3 signal, and I would have, where I sold it, I actually would have sold it on the hash mark, and we have hit our high probability profit objective. So maybe at this point I will bring my stops up. If I were smart, I would take my profit, try to recover a little bit of my earlier loss. All right, Well, we got a little bit going on here. I'll cover above this bar here with the wick. What I should be doing though, now keep in mind I would recommend covering above there, and we do have we have hit our eagle target here as well now. But if you're going to try to run a trade out, you really have to hold your stops. You have to hold your stops and wait for the market to swing. And by swing, we're talking like a move like this. It's going to go down, it's going to go up. And then once it goes down again and exceeds this point, let's say your initial stop was up here. At this moment, when it exceeds the last swing, that's when you bring your stops in. Not so easy to do, especially when you're looking at, you know, you got 200 and some odd dollars on the table. So remember, I would suggest taking profit above one of these candles here with the wicks, so we would be out. But let's see, for demonstration purposes, if we're not able to ride this out a little bit. If we can actually capture a, no, they're not going to give me the swing. And that might be due to the fact that the market environment today is leaning more toward a scalp mode. Okay, well, now the buyer's pushing back a little bit, and I think that's because this whole 7,700 region, that is very close to where the market rallied from yesterday. Let's see where we're at here on the daily chart. So we're getting pretty close toward yesterday's lows, and that's kind of getting a few buyers interested in what's going on. And here we are back to the hard edge. So the Hawk and the Falcon already both bullish. The Raptor kind of neutral. The band's a little bit twisted here. The Eagle, however, still full on bearish. I don't know. What do we think? Are we going to see a little bit of an uptick? Here we have a nice trend change signal on the Falcon. I'm just going to hop in with an order. The signal again printing down here. Again, I'm late. Oh, and being tardy is going to cost me again. Look at that. Had I taken the signal on the hash mark, I would have hit my target. I would have got my 5 points. All right, last chance for the buyers. Let's get those stops up there a little bit. If this bar forms bullish and so it challenges this one, I will bring my stops to break even. Because at this point it is do or die for the buyers.
Order filled.
All right.
Order canceled.
Again, may turn out to be a little bit premature, but that's kind of how I roll with my stops. Oh yeah, look at this. The bar's turning green. It's going to pop on through the high here. Watch this. Oh, you stinkers. Oh, there they go. All right, Eric. Well, at least when you guys trade at home, you don't have to share your errors with the world. So, I don't know. The market started off bearish. Now it's recovered. It's become bullish. It's really dead neutral. We have a pretty little doji style bar forming here. Does look like the kind of day you got to get the signal early. All right, well, here's a red bar buy that's trying to form. Here's a trend change signal that's trying to form. Okay, there it is. Trend change signal, short it. I'll try to get on early for a change. We've got the #1 signal coinciding here on the Raptor. And you should be able to anticipate these signals, both the trend change signal on the Falcon and the #1 signal here on the Raptor, because you're watching your clouds cross, right? They're going from a bullish formation to a bearish. You got the pullback when the market starts to come out in the direction of the trend change. All right, let's get those stops to break even. And look at that. Amazing what happens when you follow the rules. Take your profit on target. Wow, what a novel idea. Why didn't I think of that earlier? I am being facetious, of course. Okay, we're getting back around that 7,700 zone where we bounced earlier. Will they bounce again, or are they going to try to break it this time? Trend change signal here on the Eagle. Okay, so this is a retest now of the bottom end of the trading range. And we've got this low right here. Oh, not a complete retest. Ideally, I like to see 2 bars. Okay, here's the breakout. Let's see if we get a reaction to that. Yeah. If they drift much lower, it's going to void what I'm attempting to do. What I'm looking for is two bullish bars, and that will give me my, oh, well, see, all I had to do was draw them on there. So now we're looking at a retest of that breakout. I can place my just in case order to sell below this low. So we're looking just as though this were a sideways trading range. We're looking for the breakout, the retest. Is the market going to continue in the direction of the breakout or not? Likewise, now if I get two bearish bars, I will be able to place my just in case order to buy, which will also act as my stop loss order. And I will essentially have this market in a bit of a sideways trading range. So we can set our bracket orders. Not yet. Ideally, like I say, I would like to see two bear bars just to confirm that the sellers are really trying to sell the market again. All right, so now I can place my just in case order to buy.
Order pending.
Above the highs, I have my just in case order to sell below the lows. And whichever side yields first,
Order pending.
that will be my profit target. Or sorry, will be my trade. I can't multitask. Sorry. All right, so this is what my trade looks like. We saw the breakout of the low. We saw the retest. Now the market is either going to recover it to the short side and the sellers will continue to try to push the market lower, or the market will try to resume the uptrend. Ooh, it's dicey. Look at that. I hate it when they hesitate on the breakout. It makes me nervous. A lot of buyers liking this number. This whole 76, 86 to 90 zone. That's good for us as well with our selling proposition here, because if this breaks, which it has, we are in a position that we could trap a lot of traders out of their position. Now note once again, my stop is not two swings back. Two swings back would place my stop up here. That's not really affordable for me. I could give the trade a little bit of room in case it, just tries to break the high, kind of retest the zone. I could do a halfway point to give my, a halfway of this move here. In case the market tries to do a 50%, you see here, we just violated this high. So had my stops been right here, I would have been tagged, and watch it head lower now. It may not fully recover the trend, but this is what happens. The market retests swing points. So the further you can keep your stop away, the better it will be for you. I guess, like I said, the part of the problem is that this is where the market made a monster rally yesterday off of this whole 7,700 zone. If we break these lows, there is potential the market could probably, maybe not today, but 7,500, 7,600 both seem like reasonable targets to the short side. So you see, everybody knows where the stops are. It's not a mystery. This is what they call the weak hands, the weak-handed players, the ones that either keep their stops really, really tight or just past the nearby swing point. So the market drifts up, tags them out, heads down a little bit. As it gets closer toward the bottom, you would be able to treat this swing and this swing as your two swing stop. The important thing to remember with a stop loss is it is not a loss unless it gets hit. So what's more likely? Is it more likely that your stop will get hit down here, or more likely that your stop will get hit up here? Well, it's a rhetorical question, of course. It's more likely the closer stop will be hit than the further away stop. You just have to remember that the stop has to be an amount that you can afford. There's no point in keeping your stops way up here if tagging that stop is going to wipe out half of your account. If the trade is such that the stop placement has to be too broad, then you are better off not taking the trade. Pass on the trade, wait for the next one. You can see we're in full-on scalp mode. Oh, good, trend mode coming up, but not for about a half an hour's time. Scalp mode also requires that you keep a broader stop. Just because that's the way the market is. It's going to be moving around a lot. You're going to have a lot of swings. It's going to be erratic, not necessarily going to have a whole lot of follow through. Okay, let's see what happens. If we can take out this this low here, this 76.86 zone, there should be some follow through because again, that's very, very close to where yesterday's low was. I think yesterday's low is actually where my profit objective is at 76.76. All right, let's see what they can do. So if they take out the low, I will definitely start to roll my stops in because this really now is last chance for the sellers. In fact, I could probably snuggle in my stops a little bit at this point. It would be easier to roll my stops when and if they take out the low, however. All right, I'm gonna leave it back here at around that what I'm kind of eyeballing at a bit of a 50% level of this move lower. Again, you have to remember the trader's mentality. They're just going to keep checking both ends. They're going to check the top end, they're going to check the bottom end. One side will eventually yield. Okay, there's the break. I will start to bring my stops in more aggressively now. Because like I said, really is last chance for the sellers.
Order filled.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's see whether that was a good call or not. Did they tag me early again only to continue lower? Ain't scalp mode fun? Yeah, it looks like they're going to go lower. Scoundrels. A lot of volatility today, that is for sure. Yeah, and it looks like maybe, just maybe, I was a little bit quick with that stop. Yeah. Oh well, I wasn't prepared to leave too much more on the trading table given the back and forth choppiness that we're experiencing. Oh, we had couple of signals printing here on the Falcon. We have our late filter entry signal. Decent follow through on that. So there's a late filter entry signal. Filter out of sync, back into sync. Trend line itself never changing color. Nice little follow through on that. Now we're getting just your basic trend line touch signal. Oh no, I was going to point out the macro pullback, but it was spoiled by the yellow bars here in the hawk. Starting to get a little bit of candy striping going on. We're getting a lot of signals printing. This again, also characteristic of a scalp type environment. We've got a hard edge bounce coming our way. So we're into the hard edge. The signal should print soon. So you can anticipate where that signal will print. No, see, we're coming back with a number 2 signal. So we actually have a 2-3-2 type formation now, where we have the sell attempt followed by several buying attempts. Is that it? Are the sellers done for the day? Again, this whole 77 or 76 zone where the market rallied from very strong yesterday, looks like it's still attracting a fair amount of buyers. All right, I'd better close this out. I was going to adjust my buy order as the trade developed into an early cloud crossover, but I think I'll be looking here at the Falcon instead. The Falcon's already, trend line has changed. The hawk just produced the first micro macro cross to buy. Okay, we're going to get the trend change signal now on the Raptor. And we've got the warning dot printing here on the Falcon now, so we can anticipate the trend change signal. Okay, we're back into the trend line. We need to see the buyers step up again, if in fact the market is going to continue higher. Our Bollingers are not going to be in sync by the time this prints, so it's going to be a little bit of a anticipation type trade. All right. So I'm just anticipating where the hash mark is going to print. I adjust the trade accordingly. So this actually a late filter entry signal and a trend change signal piggybacking on each other. Once we breach the highs and we get about 3/4 of the way to the profit target, I will start to bring my stops up again. Okay, there we go. We breached the high. There we are, 3/4 of the way. And oh, they kissed it. They kissed it and turned around. Oh, you're kidding me. No love from the market today. Stinkers. Wow. Oh well, that's trading for you. Who snitched? Who told them that's where my profit target was? Well, the broker will be happy. All right, here we are. It's difficult to discern whether this is now pullback mode or the resumption of the earlier trend. The market's just all over the map today, not really giving us any clues. I'm going to, because it's so volatile today, I'm really going to try to get the signals closer to where they're printing. This could be a second push on this number one signal if you choose. And maybe, given the volatility, we should allow 2 bars against us rather than just one to define a second push opportunity. Okay, well, this one seemingly having a little bit more momentum. But at this point, once again, if we entered here, we would already be at our profit objective. The job would be done. So it seems like that's just a little bit late. Well, here we are back into the hard edge of the trading band. I don't know though. Look at the Bollingers. The Bollinger Suite. Very, very bearish across the board. Are we really going to get a bull break or a bull bounce? The Hawk's already bearish. The Falcon working on a trend change signal. Okay, here comes the Falcon now with the trend change signal. And all I'm doing at this point is I'm anticipating where the signal's going to print. And part of that is just a little bit of experience with the tool. All right, well, the Bollingers are bearish. We've got the trend change signal here on the Falcon. It seems like some of the volatility may have gone out of the market. Do I dare say that out loud? Will we actually get a nice even progression as the market attempts to get to the profit target? Once again, as I get About 3/4 of the way to the profit target, I will roll my stops. So this current bar, I'd like to see, there it is.
Order filled. Order canceled.
Okay, well, that's more like it. That's the way it's supposed to work. I don't know, this earlier, the market bouncing all over the place. Not that there weren't opportunities to be had, but by me entering a little bit late, I ended up either with a break even or on a couple occasions, the market even turning on me. That was a little, well, that was much more palatable. The pace of the trade was more what we're used to. The way everything was setting up. You can see how the Bollinger Suite, though, is a nice addition, a nice filter, if you will. So when we were looking at this trade, the market had been very, very bullish, and now all of a sudden we produce a sell signal. Is that really a sell signal we want to try? And yet the Bollingers had been bearish from way up here. The Bollinger Suite turning a little bit more bearish a little earlier. And likewise here, we had an early trend change signal on the Falcon, and the Bollinger's already in sync with that. And then confirming again well, not so much your late filter entry signal. That was a little bit more just taking the late filter entry signal because it's a late filter entry signal. But the Bollingers had been bullish going into the signal, and they were bullish as the signal was progressing. So that did perhaps add a little bit of confidence to the trade. But yeah, I featured them, I guess it's been a few months ago now, on one of our Rabbit Hole Fridays, and I was so impressed with that tool, I decided to keep it on all the charts. Really working for it today. Not quite to break even. Still in the red a little bit, but even if I finish the day at this point, again, it's not one of those days that is going to damage my trading account. It may not be a profitable day, but this is why it's important that you have a limit to your losses on the day, the point where you say enough already. Here's the Trader View account for the room, and you can see here's my ouch point right there, 500 bucks. So last month, well, April 1st. It's funny. April 1st, April Fool's Day, I don't trade very well. I'm not sure the last time I had a profitable April Fool's Day. And I'm not joking about that. There's something about April Fool's Day. I do not trade very well. But anyways, I hit my ouch point April 1st. So it's important to, like I say, important to have those kinds of days, or not days, but those limits where you will not continue to trade. When you're in a hole, stop digging. See, look at this. Now we've flipped over the other way again. What's going on here today? What a wild day. See here, we're getting a trend change again. Already occurred here in the Falcon. Oh, look at that. Okay, so we haven't moved too far yet off of this number one signal that just printed. So I can use that sort of as a second push. See if we get any follow through now on the short side. No. What? Oh, you guys. Oh, no. I'd almost dug myself out of the hole. Almost. Well, what can I tell you? It's I was about to roll my stop back as they came up and tagged me. So initial stops were right here. Obviously too tight. Two swings back actually puts your stops up here. Again, that would have been a little bit too rich, but I would have risked them to around the halfway point. Okay, well, the market in a grinding kind of mode, and here I got my number 3 signal, so I got another chance to recover. And we're going to take this one because I think we're coming up on trend mode, so maybe we're going to have a little bit of a move building here. Okay, well, here's a buy signal. Let's see if we get a 3-2-3 signal. If we come back now with a number 3 signal off of this hard edge again, so another sell signal. No, we're getting a bounce and another buyback. So the buyer is actually looking a little bit stronger. Okay, well, at this point, we kind of have the market in a bit of a twist again. We have it attempting to sell. We have a second push on that. We have it attempting to buy. We have a second push on that. All right, so now we are short. Oh, sorry guys,
Order filled.
leaning on my mute button. Let me cancel this. All I was looking for was a continuation lower because we're breaching 76.76. So here we go again. We're going to get a late filter. No, so far it's just a trend line touch. Get that order out of the way. Now it's developing into a late filter. Nope, and now it's spoiled. So we'll just cancel that trade entirely. What I was trying to do is I was trying to take that initial trade down 10 points because the last couple of trades the market has yielded a 10-point profit. And so I thought maybe, just maybe, I could squeak 10 points out, but it gave 5, but that was it. So I promise from here on out, I will take profit on target. I'm going to have to write that out longhand 100 times on a blackboard. Okay, here they come again. Possible trend change signal working here on the Falcon. We've already got the number 3 signal on the Raptor. And just your basic with trend signal on the Eagle. Notice how, if I had taken the signal early or on the hash mark, again, I'd be at my profit target. There are opportunities here today. You just got to be so quick on the trigger. Well, here's a first micro macro cross we might be able to take advantage of. And I would just be looking for it to short below the recent lows.
Order filled.
Maybe try to get my swing target out of it, which would be 5 points. See, the tools are designed for the specific market environment. I would have hit my scalp target. Trying to use your hawk to get a swing target, not working so well. Well, let's take the stop 2 swings back. If I'm going to treat it like a swing trade, I guess I should treat it like a swing trade. Not nearly the breakout or the momentum below 76.76 I would have anticipated. I thought a break of 76.76 would have encouraged a lot more selling. Yeah, it's crazy. See, I've done I guess I've done a few things wrong today. And like I said, when you do things wrong at home, at least nobody gets to see them, but my mistakes go up on YouTube for everybody to see. Scalping tool, scalping target, I would have hit it. I got a little greedy, tried to run it out a little further, and the market spanked me for it. Here again, first micro macro cross higher, hit the scalp target, no problem. Well, I don't know what to tell you. It's a really, really wild day today. The trend, I would say, is down. I would say if you're in doubt today, look for anything resembling a pullback and look for a sell signal. So here we are on the eagle, back into the hard edge. We're going to produce a sell signal right there. Well, we've got the warning dot anyway. We have breached this high, which would actually suggest a bit of a rally, but let's see, there's the hard edge. Ooh, the triangle, it's trying to print. The signal will print below this current bar, so that's what I'm anticipating. There it is. All right, so there they go. They filled the order. I'm not touching the profit target. Profit target. I will take profit on target. I promise. If we can get another bear bar as we're getting, approaching obvious support. There we go. I'll start to bring my stops up. And now I'll just leave the trade alone. You can see you do have at least 5 points in open profit. You could bring your stops in to protect that much if you wanted. So you at least keep 5 points.
Order filled. Order canceled.
Well, what do you know? Jeepers, Eric. I'm supposed to be setting a good example for you guys. Oh, well. I guess we all have our moments. Trend determination is always the biggie, though. If you can decipher the trend, if you can spot the trend, then stay with the trend as much as possible. Look for a pullback and an opportunity to get back with the trend. It's much easier getting back with the trend on a pullback than it is on a breakout. And on that note, I think we're going to shut down the trading room here before I do anything else silly. What? Me? Me do something silly? Say it isn't so. All right, gang. I will talk to you tomorrow. Have yourselves a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.